Good evening, and welcome to Sacred Heart Church Southbury online for our evening reflection. It is good to be together, faithful followers and first-time viewers. Welcome. I would like to share a column with you this evening from Richard Rohr's Daily Meditations. If you are not a subscriber to his daily meditations, I highly recommend them. Richard Rohr is the founder of the Center for Action and Contemplation. Action and contemplation truly go hand in hand. His columns are always reflective and well thought out. This one went right to my heart. I just had to share it. It was published on June 4th, right before Trinity Sunday, right in the midst of the protests and demonstrations for racial justice. Although none of this is mentioned in the column, I was reading it in light of these two events and felt it deeply. The column speaks of the work of Gregory Boyle, the founder of Homeboy Industries. I read Boyle's book, Tattoos on the Heart, a few years back, and was filled with joy, tears, heartbreak, and hope that only comes from living life with purpose, aligned with God's purpose. Rohr's column is titled Being One with the Other and begins with a quote from Gregory Boyle. It would seem that quite possibly the ultimate measure of health in any community might well reside in our ability to stand in awe at what folks have to carry, rather than in judgment at how they carry it. Homeboy Industries may be one of the most visibly transformative communities in the United States today. It was founded in 1998 by Jesuit priest Gregory Boyle, or G, as his community likes to call him. Moved by the heartache of the people he served while pastor of Dolores Mission Close Church in Los Angeles, Father Greg started Homeboy Industries to assist individuals and families affected by the cycle of poverty, drugs, gangs, and incarceration. Along with many homeboys and homegirls, he believes the healing process can only happen when we are in relationship with one another. The success of this organization offers evidence to support his belief. Mother Teresa diagnosed the world's ills in this way. We've just forgotten that we belong to one another. Kinship is what happens to us when we refuse to let that happen. With kinship as the goal, other essential things fall into place. Without it, no justice, no peace. I suspect that were kinship our goal, we would no longer be promoting justice, we would be celebrating it. Often we strike the high moral distance that separates us from them. And yet it is God's dream come true when we recognize that there exists no daylight between us. Serving others is good, it's a start, but it's just the hallway that leads to the grand ballroom. Kinship is not serving the other, but being one with the other. Jesus was not a man for others. He was one with them. There is a world of difference in that. No daylight to separate us, only kinship. Inching ourselves closer to creating a community of kinship such that God might recognize it. Soon, we imagine with God this circle of compassion. Then we imagine no one standing outside of that circle, moving ourselves closer to the margins so that the margins themselves will be erased. We stand there with those whose dignity has been denied. We locate ourselves with the poor and the powerless and the voiceless. At the edges, we join the easily despised and the readily left out. We stand with the demonized so that the demonizing will stop. We situate ourselves right next to the disposable so that the day will come when we stop throwing people away. The prophet Habakkuk writes, "The vision still has its time, presses on to fulfillment, and it will not disappoint. And if it delays, wait for it." Kinship is what God presses us onto, always hopeful that its time has come. At Homeboy Industries, we seek to tell each person this truth. They are exactly what God had in mind when God made them. Then we watch from this privileged place as people inhabit this truth. Nothing is ever the same again. No bullet can pierce this, no prison walls can keep this out, and death can't touch it. It is just that huge. This article by Richard Rohr concludes here, but I hope that it lives on in us. What speaks to your heart in this reflection by Rohr and the life's work of Boyle? What inspires you? What challenges you? What moves you to action? Questions to reflect on. We conclude now with Richard Rohr's prayer for our community. O great love, thank you for living and loving in us and through us. May all we do flow from our deep connection with you and all beings. Help us become a community that vulnerably shares each other's burdens and the weight of glory. Listen to our heart's longings for the healing of our world, knowing that you are hearing us better than we are speaking. We offer these prayers in all your holy names of God. Amen. If this column touched your heart, check out Richard Rohr, Center for Action and Contemplation, and read Tattoos on the Heart. Neither will disappoint. Take some time now to share your insights in the chat column to enrich one another, as I wish you a good night and God bless.